Sawasdee good morning and welcome to Newsline. Today is Christmas Day, December 25th, 2013. I'm Surapal Lautharanarit. In today's top stories, the People's Democratic Reform Committee, or PDRC, has announced an end to its blockade of the Thai-Japan Youth Center in Dindang. And in business news, the year-end spending is expected to exceed 100 billion baht. Now let's take a look at today's headlines. Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra plans to push ahead with the one tablet per child scheme during her extended northeastern tour. The Premier held a meeting in Phetchabun province with Education Ministry officials to lay down policies for the next year. The Office of the Basic Education Commission of Thailand made known during the meeting that a new lot of tablets will be distributed to first graders in May 2014. Survey results suggest that over 90% of teachers have so far been satisfied with the project. Prime Minister Yingluck hinted that there is a possibility that the scheme may be extended for use with second graders and older students as well. The meeting marks the Premier's 8th-day visit to the region. She has visited 14 provinces in the northern and northeastern regions over the past 2 weeks. She will remain in the area with no plans to return to Bangkok as of yet. Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra was on her visit to Loi province where she paid her respect to Pratat Si Songrak. Prime Minister and Defense Minister Yingluck Shinawatra traveled to Dan Sai district, Loi province, to pay respect to Pratat Si Songrak. The name of the pagoda literally means the stupa in honor of two loves. As females are forbidden inside the monastery, Ms. Yingluck, along with her entourage, had to perform the ceremony outside. Afterwards, the Loi provincial governor presented the Prime Minister with a miniature Pratat Si Songrak for her to keep. The governor said the pagoda is a sacred site and he wished the Pratat would bring peace to this nation under Ms. Yingluck's administration. During her visit, a group of anti-government protesters was spotted about 50 meters away from the monastery, as Ms. Yingluck was forced to use the back entrance of the monastery. Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra has agreed in principle with the proposal to set up an independent organization for national reform, while calling on protesters not to shut down Bangkok during the New Year's period. Ms. Yingluck expressed agreement with the national reform proposals from 7 private organizations. Mr. Thongthong Jantarangsu, Permanent Secretary for the Office of the Prime Minister, was assigned to compile the proposals from every party that engaged in various discussions about the reform. If the proposals could fit into a certain pathway, then it could be carried out within a year. Ms. Yingluck asked the protesters not to shut down the capital, saying doing so during the holiday season would not bode well for people's happiness and would also affect the country's economy. Asked about the protesters' demand that the Shinawatra family stay away from politics, Ms. Yingluck said she would have the public decide on the matter via elections. She is ready to accept any poll result that might indicate that the Shinawatra family was no longer of benefit to the country. Meanwhile, Deputy Prime Minister Pongthep Thepkanchana said that the proposal to issue an emergency decree for the establishing of a national reform organization will be submitted to Wednesday's cabinet meeting for thorough deliberation. However, he noted that any developments must be in accord with the Constitution. Election Commission or EC bodies in many provinces are having their venues ready for the registration of constituency-based MP candidates, scheduled for December 28th through January 1st, amid the possibility of obstructions by protesters. The candidates for party list MP seats have yet to be assigned numbers for use in the general election due to the People's Democratic Reform Committee or PDRC protesters' blockade of the Dindang Sports Complex in Bangkok. This has led the EC bodies in other provinces to request police presence at their registration venues during the registration period for constituency-based MPs. The EC body in Satoon was reportedly organizing personnel to handle the registration for the province's 2 constituencies. Meanwhile, the EC body in Trang expressed readiness in holding registration of the candidates for all of the province's 4 constituencies. EC officials in Trang revealed that the province had 3 voting stations located on islands. In previous elections, long-tail boats were used to transport the ballot boxes. However, if the weather proves challenging, the water police will be asked to help transport the boxes. The People's Democratic Reform Committee, or PDRC, has announced an end to its blockade of the Thai-Japan Youth Center in Dindang, which is serving as the venue for the registration of electoral candidates. Secretary General of the PDRC, Suthep Thueksuban, on Tuesday afternoon appeared before his supporters who had been gathering in front of the Thai-Japan Youth Center, preventing political parties from applying for the general election. Mr. Suthep stated that by interrupting the first 2 days of registration, the group was already successful in making statements to the Election Commission and the government that the people did not want the poll to be held on February 2nd. The protest leader said the blockade was no longer necessary and led the protesters back to their main demonstration ground on Ratchadamnern Avenue. However, Mr. Suthep declared that a series of activities by the PDRC were yet to come in an effort to pressure Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra to resign. He also threatened to shut down the capital on February 2nd if the authorities were still persistent in organizing the election on the day. Colonel Banpot Poonpian, spokesperson of the Internal Security Operations Command, or ISOC, revealed that Army Commander-in-Chief General Prayut Chan-o-cha has instructed stepping up of security measures in the southern region as the New Year long holidays are just around the corner. Colonel Banpot said that the move is needed as ISOC has received several pieces of intelligence suspecting possible attacks during the period, particularly in such business districts as Sungai Golok, Tak Bai, Mueang Narathiwat, Betong, Mueang Yala, Mueang Pattani, and Hat Yai. General Prayut thus emphasized security in those areas before, during, and after the long holiday period. He also urged locals to help monitor the situation, encouraging them to report to officials of any suspicious activity. The U.S. Embassy in Bangkok has made a video clip to celebrate the New Year festival. The clip has reportedly gone viral on the internet. In celebration of the upcoming New Year festival, the U.S. Embassy has created a video called 2014 New Year Celebration and posted it on the video sharing website YouTube. The clip made by U.S. Embassy staff, both Thai and American, shows a scene of Ambassador Christy Kenny and her staff traveling to work, during which Thai alphabets are shown randomly on the vehicles or held up by the staff along their routes to the embassy. And at the end of the clip, all the alphabets are put together to form the word Sawaddi Pi Mai, or Happy New Year in English. The embassy last year made a similar video clip which received over 300,000 hits on YouTube. This year's clip has been made to commemorate 180 years of diplomatic relations between Thailand and the U.S. The video can be viewed on YouTube. Simply type in Happy 2014 from U.S. Embassy Bangkok and enjoy the clip. And that's the end of our first segment. We'll take a short break now. Coming up next, we have the business news segment. Don't go away.
เราเคยฝันกันว่าพลังงานและผลิตภัณฑ์จากวัสดุสังเคราะห์จะไม่เพียงปลอดภัยต่อทุกชีวิตแต่จะต้องเป็นมิตรกับสิ่งแวดล้อมและสามารถหมุนเวียนกลับมาใช้ได้ไม่มีวันหมดวันนี้พลังความรู้ได้เริ่มสร้างนวัตกรรมมากมายที่เราเคยฝันให้กลายเป็นจริงกลุ่มปตท.เชื่อมั่นว่าวิทยาศาสตร์และเทคโนโลยีจะนำมาซึ่งชีวิตที่ดีและยั่งยืน
For those who have Android smartphones, you can download a PRD News application by searching for PRD News English in Play Store. That way, you can stay up to date with the latest happenings in Thailand.
Welcome back, and now on to the business front. According to an annual survey by the University of the Thai Chamber of Commerce, or UTCC, year-end spending will exceed 100 billion baht this year. The UTCC's Economic and Business Forecasting Center expected spending during this New Year period to increase by 5.6% to 111.7 billion baht. The center had predicted spending would be more robust, but domestic demand has reportedly been hampered by political tension, rising living costs, and higher transport fees. The center also found that Thais plan to travel domestically and internationally during the festive period. Gift buying, merit-making ceremonies, and New Year parties will continue to take place, despite dampened business sentiment this year. Last year's spending was estimated at 105.82 billion baht. The center earlier forecasted that Thailand's economic growth rate during this year's final quarter will be at 1%. The country's GDP is slated to rise to 3% during next year's first quarter. Cat Telecom has affirmed that it will not postpone the digital TV auctioning date despite current political demonstrations. NBTC Broadcasting Committee Chairman Colonel Nathi Sukonrat stated that the current political conflicts and demonstrations have not had any effects on the auctioning process of the digital TV and affirmed that the date is still set on December 26th to 27th at the company's Cat Tower in Bang Rak district. Moreover, to ensure safety and security during the auction day, related computer networks have been protected by passwords, accessible only to those involved. Cat Telecom has also installed security cameras around its computer mainframes and other computer systems related to the auctioning process in order to prevent any recording of bid logs, also known as the bidding prices, during the auctioning process. Colonel Nathi also assured that strict security would be in place throughout the process, adding that the building's main control room will only have a limited number of staff allowed for access to keep security tight. The Stock Exchange of Thailand, or SET, has announced its 2014 strategy in pushing for sustainable growth within the next 3 years. According to the SET, it will begin next year to focus on newly registered companies and quality investors in order to cope with the market's volatility. Furthermore, it will bridge investment opportunities within the Greater Mekong sub-region in order to stimulate growth within the region. Stock Exchange of Thailand President Jarampon Chotikasathian stated that 2014 would be a challenging year as there would be both internal and external uncertainties in the marketplace. Mr. Jarampon went on to say that efforts of hard work from 2013 have paid off, making Thailand one of the leading stock markets in the region, with higher average daily trading volume than any other bourse in the ASEAN region. The new SET Connect trading platform will be ready in the middle of next year in order to further develop trading technologies and provide better convenience for investors by combining both of the future exchanges with a stock exchange in one platform. Most Southeast Asian shares edged higher on Tuesday as strength in global stock markets helped emerging markets rebound from recent losses, with the Thai index bouncing back from 15-week lows. The Thai SET index finished up 0.07% at 1,327.13 after a day of choppy trading and light volumes. It hit a 15-week closing low on Monday amid worries about the political impact on the broader economy and corporate earnings. Gains were led by Bank of Ayutthaya shares, which jumped 6.3%, regaining some of the 22% drop in the previous session after the stock was removed from the MSCI Thailand. The Thai baht hit its lowest level in nearly 4 years versus the dollar on Tuesday due to the political uncertainty, while the Thai central bank said it had acted to smooth excessive volatility in the currency. Singapore's Straits Times Index ended up 0.4%, climbing for a fourth consecutive session and near a 3-week closing high of 3,127.29. Malaysia's index rose 0.1% after 4 sessions of losses. The benchmark, Southeast Asia's second-best performer this year, rallied to a record close of 1,850.9 on December 17th and has triggered profit-taking since then. And time now for another quick break, but before that, let's have a look at the exchange rates and commodity prices. Open the world of information. Embrace public participation. Present Thainess to the world. New dimension of the government's public relations. The 80th anniversary of the Public Relations Department. Creative media for the society. Mobilizing Thailand towards the ASEAN community.
เมื่อมนุษย์ทำลายสมดุลทางธรรมชาติแล้วมนุษย์ก็เป็นผู้ประสบภัยพิบัติจากธรรมชาติร่วมสร้างอนาคตลดภัยพิบัติระดมพลังพลิกฟื้นคืนผืนป่าในทุกชุมชนทั่วประเทศ
For those who have Android smartphones, you can download a PRD News application by searching for PRD News English in Play Store. That way, you can stay up to date with the latest happenings in Thailand.
Welcome back once again to Newsline. A total of 27 provinces nationwide have been declared cold spell disaster zones, as nearly 4 million families have been affected by the cold weather. The Department of Disaster Prevention and Mitigation, or DDPM, announced that almost 4 million families in 27 provinces have been heavily affected by the recent cold spell. 12 of those provinces are in the north, 13 in the northeast, and 2 in the Central Plains. In response to the cold weather, the DDPM has asked its branch offices nationwide to step up assistance for locals in their respective areas. The DDPM is requesting more budgets to purchase winter clothes and blankets to be distributed to people in the affected areas. Those in need of the assistance have been urged to call hotline 1784 around the clock. The Department of Disaster Prevention and Mitigation, or DDPM, has encouraged revelers to celebrate New Year with caution, as many activities could lead to fire accidents. DDPM Director General Chatchai Promlert warned that dangers could result from several activities during the New Year festival, especially if they are held carelessly. He suggested those who are decorating their homes with festive lights to make sure their equipment is in safe condition and of standard quality. The lights should be installed at an appropriate height from the floor and away from wet areas. The bulbs used should also be in the correct voltage in order to avoid short circuits. Mr. Chatchai added that fireworks must never be ignited near electrical lines, gas stations, or inflammable objects. As for floating lanterns, he recommended the ones made from natural materials, as they can incinerate quickly, causing no fire risks when they fall to the ground. The lanterns should also be set aloft in places far away from airports. The DDPM chief reiterated that celebrants should put safety first so that New Year will truly be the season of happiness. The Queen Sirikit Botanic Garden in the northern province of Chiang Mai organizes the Botanic Festival 2014 to exhibit a wide variety of plants and flowers for tourists this New Year festival. Held from December 21, 2013 to January 5, 2014, the Botanic Festival 2013 features discussions by academics, plant and flower enthusiasts, as well as celebrities and actors. The event opens from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. The Queen Sirikit Botanic Garden preserves and houses plants grouped by their families and characteristics. Highlights of the garden include the glass houses on a mountaintop, where tourists can enjoy and learn about beautiful plants amid the spectacular scenery. Elephants dressed up as Santa Clauses paraded to a school in Ayutthaya province to give 3,000 children Christmas gifts. 4 elephants, along with more than 20 Thai Red Cross Society staff and Jirasat Witya school teachers, dressed up in Santa Claus costumes and celebrated Christmas. The elephants marched through Jirasat Witya school, giving away toys, candies, balloons, and other kinds of Christmas presents to over 3,000 students. The students were very joyful to see the elephants and were happy to receive Christmas gifts. The Ayutthaya Elephant Palace every year brings out elephants to celebrate Christmas with the children, and also for them to learn more about these majestic creatures and their intelligence. The elephants also danced along with the music before the children. And that's it for today's edition of Newsline. For any comments or suggestions, please feel free to email us at newsline.nbt@gmail.com. And today we're going to say goodbye with beautiful Christmas decorations and lights in a Christian community in Nakhon Phanom province. I'm Surapat Lau Tharanarit. Thank you for watching and have a Merry Christmas. สวัสดีครับ